Welcome to TradeTheNBA.com. This is John. This report is for the 17th of February. Well, I'm starting with the 5K chart here of the ES, and we began the holiday just before there with all these positive extremes, and so I marked where the positive extreme started, and we saw the divergence that took us all the way through all this entire series, and I said it would just be a matter of time waiting for that signal, and sure enough, shortly after the day began, we got our first short signal, and we started filling them back in, and then all the way into the beginning here, filled them all completely. And it's relevant because it's why I mentioned them, because it becomes a significant PowerPoint when you can look at the market and say, okay, I've got from 22 and you get all the way up to 58. It's a excellent profit target and really gives you control once it starts. Now obviously you can play the in-between moves that go on throughout the day, but certainly from a broader target standpoint, worked out quite nicely. And you can't call it a coincidence when they hit pretty much usually right at it. They don't always bounce off there. Sometimes you get a little bit extra liquidity going through for selling, but they often hover right around these key areas, and these are picked by the algos and literally have nothing to do with general retrace levels, but just computer generated constructs. So it's worth noting. From a daily standpoint, we see a small uptick here in shorts after making the new high. We're just kind of in a stasis point here. We're still riding higher with higher shakeouts, but it won't take much. We've had the move of steel going above, and now it's tipping below. That may give us more of a downdraft coming through. From an NQ standpoint, let's take a look at that one. Similar readings, exact same setup where you had the steel cross above and then back below with the orange spiking, and green below. That's typically a bit more negative in general. And again, this whole idea of them talking about stimulus and stuff in the U.S. really will be the driving force in the euro. As it hits roadblocks, certainly going to send the euro, because this is inflated relative to the current structure. They're assuming that some multi-trillion-dollar package is already passed, and hasn't happened yet. And of course, gold not doing anything because of it. And again, we talked about that, and that's just because of Bitcoin and this move towards cryptocurrencies with some of the bigger players now getting involved, and that's driving it further through the roof. And of course, the favorite one that I was commenting on before, GameStop from our peaks, and talking about this algo level that we had to retrace down towards that 42 range, still in play. So generally speaking, market's behaving pretty much as we would expect. Current 5K, we'll go back to it right now as we are here in the pre-market. Once it hit that dip, give the nice little buy turnaround, but kind of jumping about at this particular point, just started to receive some softness here from a power mode 2, but happening right at the same time you're getting rising gold at the 50% that tends to want to push towards the 100. See how that plays out here in the pre-market range, but all in all, pretty stable action and excellent ranges, despite the fact that we're relatively close to record highs. So all in all, good stuff. As always though, I will update things as needed. Talk to you in the Skype chat. Trade well.